Welcome to Food Therapy.
Yep. We're gonna do some chicken today.
I love me some good chicken. Today we've got two of them, and we're going to test something out here today at Food Therapy, and that would be the difference in a whole chicken versus spatchcocking a chicken.
So, for those that don't know, spatchcocking is where you remove the backbone from the chicken or the turkey, and then you butterfly it out, and it's supposed to make it so that it's more evenly cooked and can cook at a faster temperature.
Right, and because we're doing
or not faster temp, a faster time.
Faster time. So not only that, but they're also thinking that because we're filleting it open, it gives more surface area for the smoke to infuse, right?
That's what some people believe. My fear, though, is that with the shorter cooking time, it's less smoke time.
Right.
So it might not take on as much smoke flavor.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out. So what do we have to do to prep these chickens?
So what I did is I had these for like 18 hours in an apple juice brine with some Cosmos Honey Killer Bee seasoning and some salt in it. And then I pulled them out and I let them sit out for about an hour or so after patting them dry. But one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pat the back dry some more just because it's a little wet on the back.
And what did you brine these in?
Apple juice.
Apple juice.
Cosmos. Honey Killer Bee, and then some salt. So
beautiful.
But the reason why we pat them dry is it helps with the cooking, helps the skin get crispy. It also can help with the rub sticking on it. So what we're gonna do first is I'm gonna cut the backbone out of this one, and with my bone cutting shears, but you know, I'm left-handed and I have to do these right-handed, so it might not work so fast, but so I'm just going to start going up the butt along the backbone, just cutting out the one of the things that's hard is it doesn't cut through the skin the best.
It rips right through the bone.
Yep. Might have to use my other hand just because it's awkward.
All right.
So we get into this top drawer and get a knife out.
Yep, absolutely. Which one do you want?
That's good. Alright, so now I'm just gonna cut the skin that the knife didn't cut. There, the shears didn't cut. It didn't cut the wishbone very well, so there's the backbone. So then what we've got to do, we'll get this chicken out of the way right now, is you flip it over, you butterfly, but you've got to press on the breastbone and kind of break it, and then that gets it there, and then you got to get the thighs out that way.
Just laid to waste.
So, and then we're gonna tuck the wings back so they don't burn, and that's
pretty simple, pretty straightforward.
So, but one thing I'm gonna do is, because chicken skin doesn't allow for flavor to go through it very well like beef or pork skin does, I'm going to put some butter with some of that Cosmos killer bee stuff up under this skin to get some seasoning on the meat.
All right, on. Now this would be fairly similar to what we like to do with our competition thighs, right?
Kind of, but the issue is we're not gonna be scraping the skin or anything here with these. There's still gonna be a lot of fat on the skin.
Right.
And the issue with chicken skin is that it doesn't render down as well because it cooks really fast. The chicken does.
Right.
So you're playing the game of what do you want more, edible skin or smoke flavor?
Flavorful chicken.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So that's really kind of what we want to test here today with doing our spatchcock chicken and doing our whole chicken as well, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna try putting this on the pitboss on just the smoke setting. Just doing it like changing the P setting to a 7.
Right.
And just let it sit there and smoke for a while and absorb as much clean smoke as it can.
Before we turn up the heat and actually start cooking this chicken.
Yeah, we're probably going to try to do that for an hour. And then we're going to do the whole crank it up and get a high heat and let that skin fat just render out.
Right.
Because I like skin.
I do too. I think it's one of the best parts, especially when you can get it right.
Yeah.
Now.
So I've got this one all stuffed with butter and all that. So now what Bryce is going to do is he's going to put the rub on. And I'm going to kind of rub some of the butter on the skin to be like a binder for the rub now. So that's why I'm massaging it.
Now again, we've got our Cosmos Killer Honeybee here. One of our favorites, especially for chicken. Now, we also use this for our competition chicken as well, along with a couple others, various seasonings in which have
rendered great results.
To toot our own horn here, for 2 years in a row now has gotten first place in our backyard barbecue competition.
And one of the things is if you want good barbecue, it's all in the preparation, and you can't take a lot of shortcuts.
Shortcuts? What do you mean shortcuts when it comes to food prep?
Like, with competition thighs, there's a theory out there that if you just do a longer smoke on a higher heat, you don't have to trim the fat off the skin and do a lot of prep work. But everybody that I know who does that didn't do very well in the last competition.
Right.
In fact, one of my buddies who won the whole competition a few years ago tried that higher heat in a butter bath for longer. Can you get right there? And he just didn't do well at all. He ended up being in one of the last positions.
How long did we scrape fat for last year?
I did it by myself. It took 2 hours for 16 thighs, or 18 thighs. You and I did it together in about an hour.
Yeah. So. And it turns out it pays off, so.
Yeah. So
take your time and pay attention to detail for sure, guys, when you're doing this. It's definitely worth it to take that extra couple of minutes, half hour even, to make sure that you, especially when it comes to poultry, it cooks so fast and there's so many little variances in it that it really can make or break your cook.
If you're wondering why we've got the glove over the rub there, the rub bottle, that's just because it makes it a lot easier for cleanup. You don't have to worry about cross-contaminating your bottle as much if you have to grab it again. So,
especially when you only have one person and you've got these hands going.
Mm-hmm. It's very true.
Butter. You don't want butter and grease all over your bottles because, you know, sometimes you don't use the whole thing in one cook. I know I've got a couple of spices that have lasted me a couple months even, depending on what I'm doing.
And one thing you got to be careful with when you're going up under the skin is you've got to be gentle yet firm, because you don't want to bust open the skin.
Right.
So
help seal in all that moisture.
And then once again, we always tuck the wings back behind.
Get our heat deflectors going.
This one's being a little bit more difficult than most other ones.
Well, it's got a spine to stand up for you.
All right, there we go. So let's rub there. Get the rub on this one, and
all right. Get that nice even sprinkle all over. Oh yeah. Now you guys can use whatever rubs you guys like. We've found that this Killer Honey Bee has a really good blend of both flavor, sweetness, as well as a little bit of heat to it to really make the chicken stand out.
And they also have the Chipotle Honey Killer Bee, which is really good for that.
Absolutely.
So let's move this and bring that over.
What over?
The empty tray. All right. So one thing that I like to do is I like to put a rack over a drip pan, because I do like the juices, so we can baste it later when we turn up the heat and help that skin get really crispy and flavorful. But also, the pan acts as a heat deflector, and it also makes for easier cleanup.
Oh, nothing beats an easy cleanup, that's for sure.
Because it's really nice when you can just grab this later and take it off. And
yeah, right. Good placement. Not only that, but hey, we can make some nice chicken gravy with all of those drippings.
Yep. All right, so we're gonna head out to the smoker.
All right, y'all. Here we are on the pit. We're getting ready. Got it fired up to our smoke mode. We're gonna put these two on for about an hour on smoke. Our smoke setting's on its highest setting. For the pitboss, they use a P setting, so we're on P7.
What that means is it's just longer between each burn of the pellets as they go in the cup.
Put on our spatchcock chicken and put on our full chicken here. Now, again, on this particular pit, we have a hot side usually on this side, and our kind of colder side is over here, away from our heat vent. So we want our thicker chicken to be on the hotter side, and then we'll put our spatchcock so it don't get as much heat and cook too fast. We're gonna let this sit for an hour. We'll come back out, crank up the heat, and really get the cook on.
And the smoke we're using is by Lumberjack. It's the Fruitwood blend of cherry and apple. Alright, so we've had these smoking for about an hour just on it's not even 100 degrees in the smoker. And the smoke's been rolling really good. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to crank the smoker up to 350. And that way the fat under the skin should render down and give us a good crispy skin. But to help with the crispness, we're gonna start basting this bad boy too with butter. Both these bad boys, so look at those. That one looks beautiful. We're gonna baste these bad boys up.
All right, guys, welcome back. We've got a wonderful, wonderful time. We've just got our chickens off of the smoker. Been around the pit boss for about 3 hours now. We did an hour in the smoke, and that would leave us about 2 hours total at 350 degrees on the smoker. I think we did good. We basted it every hour or so with our butter mixture, as you can kind of see here. If you look at the skin, we've got some plasticity here, we've got some elasticity here, but it still holds together. That's really what we wanted. Let's carve into it, to say the least. So what we'll do here is we'll start with the top of our bird here. Just cut this away. I'll try and get that skin left on it as the best I can. Cut around this leg here. Oh yeah. So look at that. Skin stayed intact, but right here we still real tender, real juicy, steam coming off of that. Exactly what we want to see here. And I'll work on getting some of this dark meat out. Take a look at that. Really, Joe should be the one carving the chicken since he's the chicken expert, but he gave me the honor, so pardon me for my chicken carving skills. Let's break that real quick. Massacre. Like I said, I am not the chicken expert here, but we're gonna get it done one way or another. Beautiful, tender, moist, awesome skin on there, golden brown, couple crispy parts.
Alright, I'm gonna come cut that other side.
Good idea. Be my relief. Super moist, super tender, really what we're going for. And that one's got some superior taste right there. I think the smoke got all the way through, and even the seasoning as well.
Alright, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going after that leg first. Cut around, pop it.
Just like that.
And just look at this juiciness right there. And then here we go with the breast. Put in right there. Following the bone. There we go. Just look at that juiciness in there. I don't even have to squeeze it. So, and then pop off the leg, the wings. There's one wing. There's the other wing. That's what I'm excited for, is eating that wing. Alright, skin's good too. Alright, now let's go to the spatchcock one. Now these did finish around the same time. I think it's because they're smaller. With a turkey, it would probably cook a lot differently with time-wise. So let's remove this leg here. So there's the leg for the spatchcock. Because we removed the backbone It makes these legs really easy to remove. Take off that wing. Take off this wing. Alright. So now, for the moment of truth, let's, on this breast, one thing I am noticing is that it does seem to be a little bit crunchier on the bottom. The bones aren't as easy to carve through right now. So here's this breast. So let's bite into a piece of this breast from the spatchcock. It's got some really good flavor in it. It's really juicy. This is from the normal one. You know, I'd actually say I think they turned out just about the same. I'm pretty surprised. One thing is this skin, because we did a slow smoke on a low temperature, and then we cranked it up to about 350, it's actually not rubbery and it's good to chew through. So, give that piece to Bryce. But, yeah.
Oh man.
That is a really good, and one of the great things is if you look right here, from that compound butter we put in there with the rub on it, all that flavor is soaking into the meat. This is going to be a super flavorful chicken. It's not going to be your bland chicken with no flavor. So, you know, like, share, subscribe. Give us ideas of what you'd like to see.
Food therapy.
Foodgasms.
Nothing quite says therapy for the soul than some beautiful chicken on the smoker. Thanks guys for all the support. We'll see you guys soon.